What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Garage Life RC. I'm Tyson, and today, as you can see over here on my bench, I have the Outcast EXB 6S, and I want to walk you through a couple things. I got the M2C shocks on here already, the ZRS shocks, and on this side, I've already changed the bearings and the hubs. I've put the M2C dog bones on the rear and the CVDs in the front, and I'm going to be going and doing that on this side so we can walk through it together. So I'm just going to do that here and talk to you guys while I'm doing that, and I'm going to start in the rear, and I got the wheel off here, so I got to get the grub screw out of the axle. So first things first, you have a grub screw inside the axle here, and to be able to get the 17mm red anodized off, I got my shock tool because it's got a hex built right in, so you can hold that and then break this loose. There is, you want a good tool to do this. Realistically, you might have to heat it up. I didn't have to heat mine, and I'm using MIP tools, but there's a lot of Loctite in there, and you need a good tool so you're not going to strip it out. That's probably the biggest thing to be careful with on this, is you can strip that grub screw out pretty easy if you're not using good tools. So then the pin slides right out. You can slide that off of there, and then I'm going to grab, and we're going to take the nut off that's holding this camber bar on. Pop the screw out, which it's not going to want to come out. I don't think they have to be threaded in, but they just happen to thread. The bolt happens to thread right here through the plastic on the hub. So just unscrew that until you can pop out. So you can pop out, the screw comes out, you can pop up our link. Now our hub will be free and pop down. Dog bone slides right out. Got it out here. I'm gonna grab my M2C dog bone. And the nice thing is they look, you know, at first glance they look the same, but one of these ends, the ball on one of these ends is bigger. Only one end will actually go into the diff cup. That's how you know which side goes into the diff cup. And then your stub axle here will pop out. I am replacing my bearings at the same time, so I'm just going to clean this up a little bit with my rag here. Get this cleaned up. I guess basically just getting any loose and excess dirt, debris that might be on here before I throw it back together. That looks pretty good. Kind of feel around here for any burrs or anything like that. If there's nothing, then you can go ahead and put it back together. I take, to get the bearings out, I mean, the one comes out, but the other one just happens to be, if you take a dog bone, and put it in there, it'll actually push it out really nice and easy. And changing the other side, I've already done the passenger side of the vehicle, so now we're doing the rear of the vehicle. I had two bearings, one in back and one in front, opposite bearings. In the back, it was the inside bearing, the big bearing on the inside was bad. And on the front, it was the outside bearing. That was bad. So pop that bearing in, put this axle back through here, pop it in. Goes right up into the M2C. I'll throw some white lithium grease in there, because why not have some white lithium grease in there? It's always good to have things lubed up. Pop this back down. Do the fun threading of the screw back in. Do you guys ever get on video and sometimes things just don't sound right? Like say, you're gonna say screw or camber link, or you're gonna stub axle, grub screw, anything like that, and for some reason it just doesn't sound right when you're saying it. All because the camera's on. You would think it's my first time, but it's not. I mean, I have another YouTube channel with way more subscribers than this one, so this isn't my first rodeo, yet it's almost like I'm getting camera shy. Maybe it's because I'm in the garage instead of my studio. I don't know. All right, so we got that back on there. Now, I am also throwing on the M2C hubs as well. And the reason for that is I keep stripping out the hex on rims. I keep stripping out my rims. And they're on tight. They just keep stripping out. I think these are getting grody and nasty and bad. Whatever. It gives me an opportunity to put some more M2C stuff on the truck. That's how we'll say it. And these have the 5mm offset too, so I'm actually going to be widening out my Outcast a little bit. I always just push the pins through right away, just to, if there's anything left over from manufacturing, they kind of clears that out. Slide those on, put your pin through, and then you're back to putting the grub screw back in. So I'll kind of get it started, and once I know it's going right, I'll grab my 17mm, put it back on there. And off we are to make it tight. Okay. So the back is good. Off to the front. Off to the front. Starting with the grub screw. Oh, this one might want heat. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, I'm gonna do something that I don't recommend. Actually, I'm not. I'm just gonna grab some heat. Grab a torch. I'm just gonna heat it up. I haven't had to heat any of them, but I guess this one wants some heat. See if that's enough. Again, make sure you're in there good. There we go. Had to get a little bit of heat on it. Break it loose. I always wipe the pins down once I get them out too. All right, this one, we are going to take this top retainer off here. These things are always such a pain to get back in. I don't like them. Why? Because I can, that's why. I don't know, they're just a pain in the butt to me. Gotta be careful not to cross thread them into the plastic hubs. I haven't had any of these pillow balls pop out yet. Kind of waiting for that to happen. See a lot of guys it does happen to, so just waiting on my time for that to happen. All right, so we're gonna tuck this, get this front drive shaft here, our A-arm out of the way. We're gonna pull this out. So we have that. We'll grab an old dog bone and pop this bottom bearing out. That bearing was good. Now we'll pop this top bearing out, and it's just kind of going in the other side and using the edge of the dog bone to just go around and push it out. Out. Yep, this one's bad. You can feel them if they're bad. So the inside was bad on that one. All right, now we got this, which is my bent dog bone. And we're just gonna pop the pin out. That one just slides right out. Pop the axle off. There's a little part that goes in there. Put it over into this one. And now we are M2C on the front. We'll grab the big bearing, slide it on here to go in. There we go. Realistically, your bearing is what keeps that pin in. So we'll get that all snugged up in there. There we go. You're gonna throw this right back into the drive shaft cup. There we go. So now this will thread back in. I like to leave everything loose at this point so I can thread this in straight without cross threading. If you can see that, I'm just kind of holding it up with my finger. Not putting any pressure on it because I want it to find the threads itself. Once it finds the threads, it's just a quick, or not so quick, into the A-arm. That's tight. Bearing around this that goes in. That's in. This is the hard part. Getting this guy started straight. I just use my fingers and try to find the old threads. I think I found them. Then you can stick your Allen in there and just go slow to make sure it's in the threads. Yeah, it appears to be. And you're just going until you're rested up against the pillow ball and you have no movement. And then just back it off a quarter turn. Just so it's got, if the shock was off, this would fall down and have free rein. You don't want it to be tight, otherwise you're gonna lose the ability of your suspension, which is one thing this play bothers me. I gotta figure that out. All right, so now we are at the point of grabbing our hub, taking our pin, pushing it through. There's like a little extra burr on these on the inside once at the end of the hole, looks like from the manufacturing process. So I just put the pin in and kind of tap that off. But I mean, this M2C stuff, I mean, what do you say? It's fantastic stuff. I've just been buying more and more and more because every time I get it, it just goes right where it's supposed to go. It does what it's supposed to do. And I've never broken any or had a problem with any. It always lines up. It always looks good. And it always performs well. So I've never had a reason, never not had a reason to have M2C. So I just keep buying M2C. So let's see how this works here, how it looks. Let's just pop a tire on to see if you really notice much of a big difference. Tires go right on. Super nice. I mean, 5 millimeters, you don't notice a whole ton. And gonna have to either get new tires or utilize my adapter kit from M2C. I got the M2C adapter kit for when you strip out your rims, so I can drill it on and utilize it for my rims that are stripped out. So here we go. Spinning straight, looks good. We're gonna have a 5mm offset on there. We got bearings in there. I like it, guys. I like it. Another solid product, it looks like, by M2C Racing, but I will test out more of it and see how it holds up over the long haul. I've had nothing but problems with drive shafts and rims on this truck. So now that I have it M2C-ified on a lot of things, I think we'll see a little bit more success. And I always go with just a little white lithium grease into these joints here where the bearings are, and this stuff is turning and rubbing on each other. I feel like a lot of this plays in the steering arm. I'll mess around with it more, but so there you have it. That's how you change either your bearings, or you want to do quickly the dog bones or the CVDs from M2C Racing. Really quick and easy process. Everything goes together like it's supposed to, because that's the M2C way. Everything is manufactured well and goes together really solid. So thanks for checking this video out. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Hopefully you learned something from this. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up and the notification bell so you get all the notifications every time I come out with a new video. And until I talk to you guys again soon. Yesterday we remembered our lipo safety. Today, keep your paints in a warm spot so they don't freeze, because a frozen paint is a bad paint. Learn that the hard way. See ya.